Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sandy and this is Topic Beauty. Today I got a cute little story for you about a coworker. Join me. It's a good time, I promise. My eyes are primed and today we're going to use Bloodlust from Jeffree Star. That is the palette. And the reason I am using Jeffree Star today, Jeffree's very first palette was this palette called Beauty Killer. And that is it. And he just released Beauty Killer 2 and retired that one. I did order one. I can't wait to get it. So we're just going to dive right in today. Let's see, what time is it? Oh, we got time. We got time. I always say I got time, and then I don't have time. So I'm going to use this Makeup Institute brush. It doesn't have a name or a number on it. And we are going to pick up High King. Whoa, I almost dropped it. High King right here. And, oh, my base is a little creased. Fix that. Taking the same brush, we're going to go into this color right here, which is called Dungeon. So last night we were sitting at work and we were talking about people that we used to work with or currently work with that are, you know, kind of on the strange realm. And we started talking about this lady Bonnie that we used to work with. That may or may not be her real name, but that's the name we're going with. Anyway, Bonnie, I'm going to try to paint a picture of Bonnie for you. Give me 1 second because I just messed up. So first of all, let me just say, Bonnie, because she's not here to defend herself, and I actually do like her. She's an older lady. She kind of looks like Einstein if he were a girl. She's very, let me see. I don't know how old she is, but she's probably, she's a character. I'll tell you that. She's a freaking character. She's probably in her 60s, but looks much older. She's a travel nurse that came to us a couple of years ago. And first of all, let me say, she's very, very nice. Very nice lady. So Bonnie was a lady that came to work with us a couple of years ago. She was a traveler from, she told some people New York, some people Florida. I don't know where she was from. It's irrelevant. So as I said, Bonnie looks a little like Einstein. She's got the frizzy white hair that kind of stands up all over the place. She's a registered nurse who travels, and she got an assignment with us. And the first night I met her, I came into work and they asked me to orient her. I don't like to orient people. I used to love it a long time ago. I don't have the patience for it anymore. So because the person who was asking me is a lovely, lovely person, I said, okay, I'll do it. That night was strange to say the least, but I don't have any funny stories that materialized from that meeting. But I did wonder how this woman was traveling from place to place as a registered nurse, because she just didn't seem all there. So then a few days later, I'm working again. Well, I wasn't working, I was on call, and the charge nurse calls me. And I come into work and I arrive and I walk up to her and I said, what do you need? Because I'm on call. So she obviously called me because she needs me. So she looks at me and she goes, I need you to babysit Bonnie. I was like, okay. She says, Bonnie's going back for a C-section with her patient, and I don't really trust her. Now, Bonnie had been working with us for probably 2 weeks now, so now we have a familiarity with her and her oddities. So I'm like, okay. So I agree to be Bonnie's babysitter for the evening, or at least until her C-section is over, I guess. I don't know. At this point, I didn't know. So we go back for the C-section. Everything is fine. I was supposed to be babysitting, right? But in actuality, I did all the work because the woman is strange, right? And I don't want to have to deal with her. So I did all the work. And she literally sat on a stool in the operating room. She looked like a little kid sitting there with her hands in her lap, a big goofy smile on her face, and just sitting there swinging her feet, watching all the goings on in the operating room. It was uneventful. Everything was done. Patient went back to PACU to recover before she got transferred to her postpartum destination. And I handed her a piece of paper and I said, here you go. Here's all the stuff I did. You can document, because I wasn't documenting for her. Which was a little shady on my part, but I did all the work and that's all I was going to do. But prior to that, being called in to babysit, I was what's called the backup nurse. When people have a delivery, you go and you help out, because there's a lot to do. So I am back up and I'm standing at the nurse's station looking at all of the fetal monitoring strips that are up on this gigantic board that we kind of watch. You watch your own strip, but as nurses, we tend to look out for each other and we watch everybody's strip. And there's a particular look to the fetal monitoring strip when a patient is pushing out her baby. So Bonnie was in a room where it looked like her patient was pushing out a baby. Then I see Bonnie come out of the room and walk down the hallway. Just sauntering on down the hallway, and I'm like looking at the strip, what?
Do you want me to heat something up for you or no?
No.
Okay.
So I watch Bonnie walk down the hallway, and I'm looking, and most of us who were there was a couple of us there watching her walk down the hallway. And the charge nurse is over off to the side. I said, isn't she pushing? She said, yes. And I look up and I'm like, it looks like she's still pushing. I'm going to go check this out. So I go in the room. And the father is at the end of the bed with mom's 2 legs, holding them at the feet and counting. He says 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm like, hi. He turns around. He's like, hi. I go, what you guys doing? He's like, we're pushing. Bonnie showed us how. Okay. I'm going to hang out and help you, okay? So I was in the room for a good half hour before Bonnie returned. So when she returns, I say, hi. She's like, hi. I said, so they were pushing, and she's like, yeah, that's standard. I said, it's not standard that we let patients push without someone helping and watching and see what's going on. She was like, well, they were doing a good job, and I showed Dad what to look for. Okay. Not an ideal situation, but okay. So I go out and I tell the charge nurse what's happening. And what do you say? Like, what do you say? Okay, so one night I arrive at work and I'm coming down the sort of ramp to walk out of the parking garage. And I see Bonnie walking out, sort of following a car. You know those gate things that lift up, you click your badge or pay a toll and it kind of lifts up and lets you pass through. Well, the car passes through and she's following not far behind, but as she starts to go under the arm, it comes down and bonks her on the head. And she's like, and she's walking and she's got like 5 or 6 bags. Her arm is loaded with like grocery bags. She's got her purse or whatever, her work bag over her shoulder. And I'm like, oh shit. I don't mean to laugh. Well, I do mean to laugh because I'm an asshole. But I see her and she's an older lady and she's a chubby lady, but she's a small lady. So I'm like, oh shit, that had to hurt. I don't know how hard those things come down, but she's rubbing her head as she's walking into the building, but she continues to walk in. She didn't stop. She kind of kept on walking. And then I get into work and I see her in the locker room changing and I'm like, Bonnie, what the hell happened? And she was like, what? So I said, I saw the arm hit you in the head. She goes, oh yeah, I didn't think that was going to come down as I walked underneath it. She said, I thought it would feel my weight. I said, it's not meant to feel a person walking. It's meant to feel a car. Otherwise it would open every single time somebody walked past the driveway. And she was like, oh. Now let me just say, this lady was very smart. You could ask her anything and she knew the answer and she was spot on. She was smart. I don't know if there was some sort of confusion happening in her brain because she was older, she was traveling, she was always alone. And she would tell us stories sometimes that made absolutely no sense. But she was nerve-wracking. If you were the nurse in charge, you were nervous about what was happening with her patients. But she was a very sweet lady. She still is a sweet lady, I'm sure. I just don't talk to her anymore. I really want a frosty. Oh, I know. Since we're into Jeffree Star today, we are going to use Sacred Glass. And I'm going to pick up this color right here and do right under the arch of my brow. One Christmas, we were working our weekend, and a lot of times around the holidays, you know, it doesn't even need to be a holiday. We'll just bring a shit ton of food and just chow. I guess she wanted to be part of the crowd because she really much did want to be part of our little family, such as it is with the coworkers and all that business, right? So she brings in. Oh, first, let me give you a little idea what her car looked like, because I've seen her get out of it a million times. She looked like she lived out of her car. Her car was jam-packed with junk. I don't know how she fit in it. It's a good thing she was short because there was no room for a person in that car with all the junk that was in it. Somebody said that her dog lived in her car with her. I'd never seen a dog. And she told me that her dog had passed away. So I don't know if there was a dog in the car or not. You wouldn't see it if there was, probably. So she brings in something I'm sure she had stashed in her car because she looked like a pack rat. She looked like a hoarder on wheels. Like she took she took everything she owned everywhere she went in her beat up little car. So she comes in, now it's Christmas, and she comes in and puts out orange Oreos, Halloween cookies. And everybody's like, and they look like they've been through it. Like these cookies were smashed to bits. And we're like, no one's going to eat. We're in our heads, we're like, no one's going to eat those. That's disgusting. Who knows where those things have been. So her feelings, of course, are hurt because no one's eating her cookies. And she's asking me why nobody likes her. And I'm like, it's not that people don't like you, you know. It's just that it's confusing because it's Christmas and those cookies are from Halloween. And she's like, they're not expired. They're still fine. They're cookies. They're fresh. And I don't know. I was like, well, everybody has their own idea of what they want to eat right now. So we're just going to leave it at that. Oh, this eye looks cute. Except my eyes are starting to droop and I don't like it. I'm going to do another coat of mascara. So oddly, I got she sent me a text message one day and she was telling me that she was very upset that her contract didn't get renewed and she would be leaving our hospital to go work in Boston. I said, well, you know, I said, maybe they don't need another traveler at the time. And she was like, well, they extended so-and-so's contract and the other lady's contract, but they didn't extend mine. I couldn't really tell her because she was a nice lady. Like, I couldn't really look at her and say, well, everyone thinks you're an idiot and no one's safe around you because we're not sure what's happening in your brain. Because one minute you seem lucid and very smart, and then the next minute you're walking underneath a big old freaking wooden arm that comes down automatically and bonks you on the head. Like, don't really know what to say. So my setting powder is going to be Jeffree Star in the color Natural. This is my favorite setting powder ever. It's gorgeous. This is probably my second or third one, and I have another one in reserve for when this one runs out. I'm just going to pick up this big fluffy brush, kind of smooth out the face. So Bonnie was upset that she didn't get her contract renewed. So then she sent me a text message. She sent me a lot of text messages. Some of them are strange and I'm not going to talk about them. And I have other stories about her little escapades at work that I'm not going to talk about either. Because it'll make the hospital look bad, even though nothing bad happened. I don't want to do that. I got one little area on my eye that I just need to fix. So Bonnie sends me a text message telling me that she's working in Boston and on the third day of her contract, she was dismissed. I asked her why, even though I had a pretty freaking good idea why. She said she didn't know and she was heartbroken. And at the time, I was kind of sort of friends, not really at the time, friends with one of the assistant managers. She wanted me to talk to her and ask her if there was any way they would take a contract on with her so that she would have a job for the next 14 or 15 weeks. I said, well, I'm not really friends with her, and I don't really think they care if I think that you should have a job here or not. And then I blocked her phone number from my phone. Then I get a text message from her, at like some weird hour in the morning, and it's her telling me that she got a new phone, it's a new phone number, and that she hadn't talked to me in a while and was missing me and wanted to talk to me. I was like, oh, lucky me. So I was like, oh, yay, lucky me. So she's being weird. And now it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I have no idea if she's at work or if she's at home drunk off her ass. Oh, my neck. So I don't respond. And no, before that, she's telling me how she's in North Carolina or South Carolina and her car was stolen. Now, remember, the rumor was that she lived out of her car. I don't know if she did or not. But she definitely was a hoarder, and she hoarded things in her car because that's how she transported it from one place to another. I don't know if she had a house wherever she had come from or where she went back to when she didn't have assignments. So I don't know where she went when she didn't have assignments, but she sent me a text message that her car was stolen and she didn't know what to do. Then a couple of days later, she sent me another text message that her car was recovered like hundreds of miles away. So she went to recover her car. All her stuff was stolen, her clothes, everything. I can't imagine that anyone would steal the shit that was in her car. I mean, remember, she brought us Halloween cookies for Christmas. So I suppose if you're stealing cars, you're not that picky about the items that are in it. I wish I could remember some really funny stories at the moment, but I can't. But the one with the walking down the hallway, if you're a nurse or a labor and delivery nurse, you know that you don't leave your patient's husband to push with the patient all on their own. That is so dangerous. What if that baby would have come out and there's no one in the room to help them? That poor dad would have freaked. So interestingly enough, we have this, I'm just going to look for a lipstick. We have this OR scrub tech who works with us now. And she also works at another hospital in the area. She also works at another hospital in the area. And she knows Miss Bonnie. And Miss Bonnie has sort of latched onto this girl. This girl's probably 25-ish. As I said, Bonnie's like in her 60s or so. I'm just trying to find a lipstick. I want to wear Jeffree Star lipstick since I'm wearing Jeffree Star eyeshadow. When are you going to make a blush palette, Miss Jeffree? Guts to find a lip liner. So Miss Bonnie has latched onto this poor girl, right? And pretty much follows her around. So she's told me some funny stories, and it's kind of interesting. She's told me some funny stories about Bonnie. Cracks me up. Okay, so that's the face. That's the look. I think the eyes came out super cool. Again, we use Jeffree Star Bloodlust. Jeffree Star lipstick. The lipstick is Pink House, and then I used the high gloss. I don't know what it is because I can't read it. Story of My Life. I can't see. What else did we use by Jeffree Star? We use the Sacred Glass highlighter palette. Very cute. I like it. I like it. Came out cute. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you had a good time. I know I did too. I wasn't trying to bash Bonnie. I just wanted to tell some cute, little amusing stories about about her and our adventures at work. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe down below. Hit that notification bell so you next know when I upload a video. If you have any questions down below, feel free. Hit me up on Instagram if you want at topicbeauty49. I post not regularly, but sometimes over there. I'm trying to get a little better with that. Have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.